if we look into the software development, the most of the developments are happening right now is in the web-based applications. So most of the things which people are developing in order to manage their things and stuff like that, mostly in the web. So this is one of the easiest approach because there is only a single point of update is necessary, because other applications, if we look into the softwares like something which is from the Adobe, like let's take the look of Photoshop itself. So the Photoshop and all, we have to update in our system whenever the new updates are coming and things like that. If we build a software that is basically from a center point, the all the updation will be manageable easily and things like that. So in this particular way, the companies can easily manage their day-to-day activities, even if the teams are being distributed remotely and sort of things. So here, when we look into the web-based application development, there are many different steps we have to look into. Like CSS is something which is in the DOM that gives the idea how you can build and style the applications and many other things. Basically, it is a style sheet and it will give the look and feel of the application to the user. And also we have to look into the JavaScript. Mostly it will be in Node.js or Angular or React or Vue, or there are many frameworks based on these technologies and architectural ideas, and even the test cases and test case scenarios like Mocha, Chai, and there are so many things which is, especially we have look into TypeScript, which will actually a JavaScript preprocessor. We give some type definition to the TypeScript. It will spit out the JavaScript code in the that we can execute in other application, which is basically Node.js kind of things and sort of stuffs like that. So JavaScript is one of the important concept, and TypeScript and the DB where we save the data and things like that, that also we have to look into. And cloud-based applications, like maybe the storages, something will be in EC2, and there will be CloudWatch, there will be AWS Lambdas and SNS SQS, and there is third-party applications similar to Okta, and there are many other things like that. And if we are using some kind of AI in the backend, we have to use some TerraTorch or things like that, which is in the LLM models which train the JavaScript architecture, the application. It will make more intelligence to the applications and things like that. So this is the an overview of the web-based application and what all are the things as a developer you have to look into in order to build something which is actually a full stack application that can work into the that can serve an enterprise's need. So we have to look into different architecture, and there is different stakeholders will be there, like dashboards and authentication methods will be there, and people who are working into that, like back end there will be somebody, and front end there will be somebody, and CI/CD there will be somebody, and there are so many other things. So here in this particular video, what we are going to look into some of the important questions which generally comes in the interview process, and these questions can actually help you to score well and even to build better applications. So in that order, I have charted some 5-6 problems or 5-6 questions which give a better probability to win an interview, and it will make you basically a better developer. So So let's have a look into these kind of questions. So what you are right now seeing on the screen is one of the it's just a browser based notepad, which will not spy on you or anything that sort. Like, you can just download that extension from my website, which is www.ironsyoga.in, and if you really want to use this particular extension. So however, I'm going to use this because of course I built this particular thing. So the first statement of the problem which I'm going to look into is the specificity of the CSS. So the CSS has a specificity. So the most of the time which I have seen, this is there are some style changes which I have to do, and I have no idea where is this particular style sheet is coming from. So in this kind of scenario, in this kind of situation, it is good to have a look into specificity of the CSS. Here what you are seeing here is there is a style is been specified. So the elements, the red, so this color will be red, and the dot blue, the color is blue, and h1, the header, and the specified color is yellow. And here is the element which I have to color, which I have given h1 id equal to red and class equal to blue, and what is my color? This is the question. So this is a little bit tricky here. The red is been defined as a red, and dot blue is defined as a blue, and h1 is defined as a yellow. So here the answer will be red. The color of this particular element will be red. Why it is been happening? There is something called specificity of the CSS. That is what causes this particular behavior. So if we need to really look into the specificity of the CSS, these are the things which we have to look into. See, the universal selector, which is like a star, that has a specificity of 0000. So this, which means that this has the least specificity of the element, and the next specificity, if the element is 1, this will be the next specificity, and if this particular 0, if this is 1, this next it will go to the next specificity, and in the same, here it is the next specificity, and here it will be the next specificity. So also these are the elements. The specificity of the elements is been defined in this particular way. Type selector has p, div, and h1. This has the specificity over here 1. So, and also one of the other thing we have to look into this is this, if this can be 2 if the element definition is this way, and if I define in this way, this will become 3. This can be become 3. Come on, man. This can be become 3. So this is how it is been defined, and if I give the div and div and div and div and div and div, so here 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So specificity will be 7. So this is how the specificity is goes on. This is one of the interesting problem or interesting concept which helps you to define better. I mean, it helps you to design better applications. And this is one of the important concepts which you have to look into. And here the constant object, modifying the constant object. This is another problem. This is one of the interesting problem which we can actually look into. After the introduction of ES6 in the JavaScript, most of the peoples are familiar with the variables let, var, and const. The constant is the constant variable is generally immutable. If I define let a constant x equal to 5, which means that this x is actually immutable across the programming code, and let will actually die inside curly braces. If I define something inside the curly braces, let x equal to 5, the x will die inside the curly braces, and I cannot call this outside the curly braces. This is how the let is working. And var is like, var is a global variable, but we can also, or we can, it is mutable, mutable variable across the browser. So see, the here the here x is an immutable variable, but if you look into this particular stuff, constant person equal to name Sally, this can be again redefined. Person dot name equal to Jane. So what does it mean? So the constant is not immutable. This constant object is mutable basically. I mean, I can redefine the value of the name again as Jane, and I can again define as something else, and so this is true. So the what it does is means like, it will never make the object immutable. This particular constant keyword, if I use with the an object, it doesn't make this particular object immutable. So this is what something which I have which we have to understand. And this is one of the interesting problem, or one of the interesting concept we have to understand. Like, people will say that the I still don't understand JavaScript. Yeah, is in a way it is true. Like, it is very hard to understand JavaScript, and there are many other concept which is not there in other programming languages, which is there in the JavaScript, and that can be a little bit tricky as we goes on, and there are many other stuffs is happening in the case of JavaScript. And here the another function which we can look into JavaScript is that immediately invoked functions, IIFE. This is how the IIFE is been defined. The function console.log is to hello. So what is happening here, the function will be immediately evoked here. When the function is been loaded, it will be immediately evoked. And why we have to use something like this means, like, if I define something inside this function, that, like, let x equal to 5 or something, I can use this, or I can again define function inside this function, and these functions I can call inside it. That functions will live only inside this IIFE only. I cannot call this particular function outside of this IIFE. So this is why the immediately invoked functions are being used, and it has a lot of use cases across the programs, which if we really write the code, we can actually understand those kind of things. So this is the IIFE, and this is import aliases. So how do we look into this? Like, so let's say we know that what is a Node.js. The definition for the Node.js, we could say in this particular way: Node.js is C++ library. On top of that, a V8 engine. On top of that, there is an npm, which is the JavaScript libraries manager, like, node package managers. And this is how and there is a lot of JavaScript which is being managed with the npm. This is how the Node.js structure is basically is. And if we look into the npm structure, the npm is kind of a binary tree. I mean, so this will go from one node to another node and another node. This is how the npm structure is being actually organized. And when we let's say, like, let's say there is a function in Axios, and there is a function in FS, and we have to really define, like, the function name could be similar, so we really have to define this function is from the FS and not the function is from the Axios, even though the same functions are being there defined in the Axios or FS. Like, for example, in order to FS to run, there are other dependencies are needed. That is also is being managed with the npm, and that also will be installed in the when we run some command in the npm. So the first we have to, I mean, the tree structure we really have to define from which function is being called from where, and this is one of the important thing. That's why if there is let's say there is a calc function which is residing inside this multiply, and there is another calc function which is residing inside this add. So I can take this calc as a multiply from the file multiply, and import the calc as add from the file add. So this will be getting this this add will get a global scope across this a particular script, and we could use this add across. I mean, this will actually make a multiply will never make a problem to the add. Like, you know, we if we add the calc, if we import just calc from multiply, this will actually override and create a lot of bugs and things like that. Like, it will be really hard to debug. Also, this is the import aliases. So using these alias names will actually help us to write the code in a very better way. So this is one of the another thing where we have to look into object spread and reference issue. So we know the I think you might be you will be, I mean, you might be aware about the shallow copy and the deep copy actually. So here, object spread and reference issue, how does it happens? Like, you know, for example, I have defined an object which is called person over here, and another person which is actually I have created the another person object using a spread operator in the JavaScript. Here using a spread operator, I have initiated the object person to the person 2. So here the person 2 also has the variables which is been there in the person. So here person dot name equal to Sally, and the person to address dot city equals to Los Angeles. So here what would be the output of this? This is interesting to look into. Like console.log person1.address.city and console log person address.city. What would be the output? The output which comes is LA and LA, but if you look into the person 1, it is the Hilton. What is happening here? This spread operator actually taking the value back to the person 1. This is like a deep copy. What is that? It is happening, it's not a shallow copy. So this is one of the important problem, like, you know, deep copy and shallow copy, and the object spread, how it's behave in the object spread. This is one of the important thing we have to look into while we are building stuffs into the JavaScript. And also this is also very important thing. Like, you know, here we are using an arrow function in order to define the show my name. Here if I call like console log to object 1 dot show my name, it will give if, because it is been defined here. And it is been returning return dot this dot name. So this keyword will actually only work in this function definition, which they never work in the arrow function. This is also an important stuff to look into. And these are the things which I mean, if you are aware about these kind of things and these sort of stuff, you know, that will actually make you a better JavaScript programmer. Thank you for watching.